Alright, CelJaded here with more Total Extreme Wrestling 2020, this time for Monday, week 4 of March 2006. This is the first of 2 remaining episodes of Monday Night Raw left until WrestleMania. Yep, we are so close now to that huge show coming very, very soon. And speaking of things being so close, here he is, the WWE Champion Edge, 1 point short of perfection here with a 99 segment rating. It is Edge, who thinks to become the new face of WWE, he must destroy John Cena at WrestleMania. So Edge, we are getting a little bit in touch with the real life program between Edge and John Cena here, because as far as I'm aware anyway, it was Edge wanting desperately to become the figurehead of WWE, to replace John Cena in that role as the biggest superstar in the company. And it was that kind of the paranoia of that and the bitterness and desperation to achieve that goal is kind of what led Edge down this villainous path. And him and John Cena kind of fighting to going to the ends of the earth to fight over that issue. So just getting in touch with that a little bit here. So some quality promo time for Edge to talk about everything on his mind as we get ever closer to that huge show, WrestleMania. And yes, you can bet you will see more of Edge as Raw continues. But before we get there, it is time to address the program that closed out Raw on the last episode. And of course, that is the ever-unfolding saga between Mickie James and Trish Stratus. But we are starting here with Ashley. Absolutely irate is this woman as she confronts Mickie James, who refuses to explain herself to anyone except Trish Stratus. So Ashley, of course, is Trish's protege here, and although there's a little bit of bad blood between Ashley and Trish, Ashley thought that Mickie James was her friend. She stuck up for this woman. Part of the reason why there's bad blood between Ashley and Trish was because Ashley has been friends with Mickie James, or at least she thought. Mickie James revealed her true colours last week when she left Trish Stratus for dead, essentially, in a handicapped tag match with Lita, Victoria and Jazz, just absolutely destroying Trish in the ring. And just leaving her battered and broken. It was Mickie James who picked up the WWE Women's Championship belt and just smashed it right over Trish's head at the culmination of that show to really put Trish in a bad place. So Trish, we would not expect her to be here tonight in that condition. Mickie James, heel that she is only making things worse by refusing to own up to her actions and explain why she's done this. So the situation between Ashley and Mickie James very fraught here, and it's immediately going to devolve into a brawl between these two women backstage as Ashley just so upset here with Mickie. This is turning physical in a hurry. But wait, because we've got Vince McMahon here, the CEO himself, who interrupts this ensuing brawl backstage and kind of breaks this up. And kind of the moment he kind of understands what's going on here, he says, fine, well, if Mickie James won't explain herself to anyone but Trish, then she can wrestle Trish tonight. And at the same time, Ashley, she can wrestle you as well, because this is going to be a triple threat match up next. And if we are going to settle this issue, we'll settle it tonight. And so these women, Ashley, Mickie and Trish, all in the same match, a triple threat match. And that's coming up next. But the real question here, of course, is how is Trish going to enter this match in the condition that she is in? Is she even medically cleared? Vince McMahon doesn't care. He just wants ratings for his show. But either way, Mickie James, Trish Stratus and Ashley in a triple threat match coming up next. We best get straight to it. All right, and there it is. And so Mickie James defeats Ashley and Trish here in a 3-way match, with Mickie James getting the submission over Ashley. And as you can see here with the note at the bottom, it is Trish Stratus added to the match midway through. So what is the story here? Well, quite simply, Mickie James and Ashley enter the ring and immediately pick up from where they left off, and the brawl is on, and we're awaiting the arrival of Trish Stratus. but she doesn't come. So the match continues between Mickie and Ashley, with Mickie obviously getting the upper hand as the more experienced and kind of more aggressive worker here. Doesn't take much for that to happen. So as angry as Ashley is, kind of falls victim to Mickie James's kind of experience here and her strength. And it is Trish Stratus who finally emerges from the back with trainers surrounding her, officials saying that she is not medically cleared. She cannot enter that ring in the state that she's in. She's clutching her ribs and selling that kind of injury that she picked up last week, of course. And by the time that Trish has finally fought through this crowd of officials that are trying to hold her back, poor Ashley, unfortunately, has already tapped out to Mickie James. So Mickie James really taking advantage of Ashley here. She can see Trish, of course, approaching the ring. And things only get worse from there. Because after the match, it is Mickie James who pummels a downed Ashley. Oh, really, sad scene here with Mickie James just with MMA-like precision with those crisp right hands that only Mickie James can deliver. Just really beating down Ashley in the ring, goading Trish to kind of come in here and save her friend. And by the time Trish finally makes it into the ring, past those officials, well, you know, it's predictable. Mickie James immediately takes a powder. She ducks out of the ring. And Trish now alone in the ring with Ashley, kind of checking on her, making sure that she's not too badly hurt. And Mickie James now retreats up the rampway. Oh, high segment rating for this. Good stuff. It is Mickie James laughing in retreat while the enraged and clearly still hurting Trish holds her title high. So you can read between the lines here. Trish Stratus is not beaten yet. Yes, she was wounded, she was hurt, but she is still the WWE Women's Champion. She holds that belt high to make a statement towards Mickie James. You haven't killed me yet. And Mickie James laughing, knowing that everything is going her way right now. So that is it for the Trish Stratus and Mickie James saga for now. And yes, I apologise. I know last week I said that Mickie James would be explaining herself and getting some promo time. On reflection, I decided to bump that show to next week. I just didn't think there was any way that we would be able to follow up the segment that I have in mind for Mickie James explaining her actions. So I decided to keep that for the go-home show of Raw before WrestleMania. So a slight bait and switch here, and we still had to include Trish Stratus in the match in a three-way affair because Mickie James and Ashley, unfortunately, don't have the popularity levels to hold a match on their own without losing the fan interest. As we've said before, that's just something that you really have to kind of contend with the women's division because almost no one is over at the start of this save. And we're getting close with Mickie, but we're not quite there yet. So until then, she still needs Trish's help to kind of hold things together in the match. But I think, although it was quite a little bit of a clunky presentation, I think we got away with it with a decent explanation of Trish kind of joining the match midway through. So definitely nothing settled here between these two women. This issue is hopefully just as hot as we left it. And like I said, I promise this time, the next time we revisit Mickie James and Trish Stratus, you're going to hear everything that's on Mickie James's mind. So do tune in for that one and look forward to it because it's going to be a good one for sure. Okay, so we are now with Lita, who is urging Francine, fellow heel here. So more of our ladies on Raw, good thing to see. And yes, she's urging her buddy Francine to be selfish because guys like John Cena, for example, take all the time for themselves. So kind of what's the situation here is Lita and Francine having a friendly chat backstage when Lita kind of puts an idea in Francine's head that, look, Francine, you're trying to kind of do right by your client, Gregory Helms, who you're managing at the moment. And you know that it should be Gregory Helms in the ring getting promo time and showcasing himself. He's got a championship match at WrestleMania, just like John Cena has. Why does John Cena get all the time? How come he gets to be the face of the company? And yeah, Lita just really healing it up here and really throwing Cena under the bus. And Francine now definitely given room to think about Lita's words. So we'll have to wait later to see what the payoff is for that. But for now, we are with a seemingly unfazed Umaga, who makes his way to the ring while his manager, Armando Estrada here, dictates their plans. So even though Umaga was viciously attacked by Mick Foley last episode and thrown off the stage in a huge bump, the man is back. Barely an inconvenience to the Samoan Savage, so he has recovered remarkably quickly from that attack, and he looks angry, folks, does Umaga. And you're going to see what the results of that anger is right next, because he has a match on Raw, and it is a handicap match. So, okay, fine, he was off his game on this occasion, but in a match that definitely suits our babyface team here, a nice little hardcore match with Terry Funk and the Sandman, so a half decent rating nonetheless. So, and yes, it is Umaga getting the pin on both men here, so we are really putting the gas to Umaga and heating him back up after that segment where he was selling, uncharacteristic segment that it was. And yeah, Umaga coming back strong here and making a huge statement by taking out Terry Funk and Sandman at the same time now. Before Umaga can kind of commence his traditional post-match beatdown on the former ECW talent here, it is Mick Foley. Not so much making the save as he is coming with a bargain, an offer for Estrada. So Estrada here having to hold Umaga back, unsurprisingly, hold him back from the man that threw him through the stage. But Estrada wants to hear what Mick Foley has to say. So Mick Foley enters here to issue a challenge for WrestleMania. The Samoan Savage versus the Hardcore Legend. Mick Foley is done standing by, whilst his former friends are kind of taken advantage of and beaten up by Umaga. Mick Foley has had enough. The Hardcore Legend is coming back at WrestleMania. Mick Foley here with a nice promo talking about what ECW, what the idea of being hardcore means. And Mick Foley making the point that, yeah, Umaga, you're a terrifying force. Maybe you are next to unstoppable, but do you really understand what it means to be extreme, to be hardcore? You haven't seen nothing yet. And I am done standing by while you take advantage of these men. And the next time you step in the ring with me, and I will show you what being hardcore truly means. So that is it. Umaga and Mick Foley at WrestleMania. We'll just have to see what Estrada comes back with. But there is a big smile on that man's face because he can smell money. If Umaga gets the win at WrestleMania, that'll be a very nice development for his clients. So Estrada happy to let Mick Foley get away with a freebie here. Kind of backing Umaga off. And the next time we see those two men, Umaga and Estrada, I'm sure they will have an answer for the Hardcore Legend and his little challenge. So, good stuff. And here's another man who's going to WrestleMania. It's Jerry Lawler, who gives an interview defending his decision to turn on Hulk Hogan. So just a nice quality heel promo here from Jerry Lawler. He's talking about his time being a wrestling icon and how he will be facing another icon at WrestleMania. Talking about how hideous Hulk Hogan's suggestion was that they become a tag team and go for the tag titles at WrestleMania. Like, what a joke. Did Hulk Hogan think that he could be so transparent, how it's so transparently like egomaniacal that he would think to help Jerry Lawler, his buddy, get to WrestleMania only to sap away all the spotlight once they got there? No, Jerry Lawler is no one's fool. He saw through Hulk Hogan, he says, anyway. He saw through Hulk Hogan, and now he is going to get to WrestleMania through Hulk Hogan, not with him. So, Jerry Lawler and Hulk Hogan, it is coming up at WrestleMania, and like I said before, even though we might check our expectations a little bit in terms of match quality, you certainly can't argue with the promo quality so far, can you? So, a really strong rating here from Jerry Lawler. He's really enjoying this heel turn by the looks of it, and good on him, because we keep getting green segments like this. You can have all the promo time you like, so good stuff. All right, and speaking of promo time, we are here with Vince McMahon, Booker T, and Shawn Michaels, because these two men, of course, have been on a collision course for a long, long time, and I mean, really, they've been colliding all over the place on Raw, let's face it. But Vince McMahon has said he's had enough of this. He's had enough of these two men kind of going into the business for themselves, if you like, and forcing Raw off the rails and causing chaos. So he is demanding now that there be no physicality between HBK and Booker T before WrestleMania. Otherwise, that match is forfeit. We will not find out who the better man is unless these two men can control themselves. They have had more than enough matches on Raw to satisfy them. They've had more than enough chances and have taken up more than enough TV time. And Vince McMahon, the controlling madman that he is, coming in here to lay down the law. He does not want Booker T and Shawn Michaels touching each other. And if one man was to break that rule, like we said, he would be forfeiting his win at WrestleMania. So Booker T and Shawn Michaels, you have seen the last interaction between those two, one would think, until WrestleMania. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see these two men step in the ring, but hopefully when they do, it will be good. And, Shawn Michaels is going to be in action next. It won't be against Booker T, but we do have a match laid out for him, so let's get to it. Oh, wow, and it's a good one as well. So, yeah, good heat and decent wrestling. Great stuff here. It is Shawn Michaels, no doubt with a ton of bonuses here, so some really good work from him. Like to see that. Unfortunately, Shawn Michaels battling low morale penalties at the moment. One of the few workers on this save that is doing, because he's still sore about losing the Royal Rumble and was not too happy about putting over Booker T in the build-up to this angle either. But it's a small sacrifice to make, folks, because if you had seen the state of Booker T's popularity at the moment, wow, what an improvement that this has done for Booker T, feuding with Shawn Michaels. So he's not happy about it, is Shawn, but he's just going to have to lump it because whether he likes it or not, he has done a great job of putting Booker T over. Booker T is now a star. He has reached star status thanks to this feud. He's got deep green popularity, which is much, much higher than he was before. So the wins that he has secured over Shawn Michaels so far have really, really been helpful. So I have got high hopes for these two when we get to WrestleMania. I wasn't sure what to think when I started this story at first, but so far it's really, really paying off. And as we head into the next segment, I kind of predicted this. You can see why it's paying off. Because look at this, a blue segment now for these two. Just great, great stuff. Booker T taunting HBK on the ramp, daring him to take a swing. And Shawn here barely controls himself. So remember, if Shawn Michaels lays a hand on Booker T before WrestleMania, that match is going to be forfeit. He is not going to get his chance to wrestle Booker T again and prove that he is the better man. Remember, Booker T has 2 pins over Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels, I think, has 2 wins over Booker, but they're certainly not as clean as, I say clean, but they're not as impressive perhaps as the wins Booker T has, only because Booker T has been using all sorts of heel antics and getting himself counted out, you name it, to get away with things. But overall, great work between these two. Again, you can see the bonuses leading to these high ratings. Booker T here there with the hot catchphrase. He's got Charmel as well helping him. And just overall, really, really great stuff from these two. Always look forward to seeing them again on Raw. All right. And we are now with our challenger for the WWE Championship, John Cena, the other biggest star in our company, of course. And he is here doing a few skits at Edge's expense and suggesting that Edge try earning respect for once. So again, this is getting in touch with the real life angle a little bit. I'm not familiar with the program that much between John Cena and Edge. Like I said, I'm not an expert on the year 2000, but I did go back and do a little bit of research to see kind of what points that program hit in real life, because I was curious. And I will say that I did quite like the idea of John Cena and Edge kind of fighting over who wants to be the face of the company. There's a good motivation for a story, I think. And just a couple of segments here that I kind of borrowed, if you like, from the real life version of this feud. And one of the ones I quite liked here was John Cena doing a few skits. So just a few little bits of comedy. He had Edge's face up there on the Titantron on a magazine, which was quite funny, and obviously calling out Lita every chance he got. And I'll tell you what, folks, if you haven't seen bits of that feud, like, seriously, go back and maybe look at a few clips on YouTube. Like John Cena, like what a worker on the microphone. He's just absolutely terrific in that segment. Really, maybe doesn't even get enough props for his work in that program. Really, really, really good. And so I thought because a lot of the angle that we've done in the video game here has come across perhaps a little bit more serious than I expected at first. On reflection, I was probably going just a little bit too serious with it at times. So this is just a little opportunity for us to blow off a little bit of steam here. So Cena with a few comedy skits, the kind of material that he's really good at working here. So quite like this as a little bit of a palate cleanser to the kind of endless blood feud stuff that we had going on before. So good stuff here from Cena. But hang on, because we're not done, because here we have Francine, who interrupts to complain about how much time Cena gets, and Cena roasts her for it. So a little bit of a change of direction here for a second, because John Cena and Francine having a little talk, having a little chat here, because Francine, as we saw earlier, was kind of led by Lita to coming out here and kind of criticizing John Cena, and Francine is talking about her man Gregory Helms, who should be deserving some time here on the mic instead of Cena. And Cena, of course, you could imagine just do a great job of roasting Francine in kind of the same way that he does with Lita, just really criticizing the woman and going full babyface to her heel. So really great stuff. But hang on, because, again, we're not quite done, because while Francine is distracting Cena, it is Gregory Helms who attacks him from behind. So how do you like this for a development? You know who was probably responsible for this one. It was Lita kind of putting the thoughts in Francine's head, but you can probably imagine which mastermind cooked this up. So Cena here falling foul of Gregory Helms and kind of getting attacked, and Helms and Francine kind of retreat suddenly, and Cena absolutely kind of frothing at the mouth now. He's just been attacked by Cena, and he's kind of lying on the ground in the ring, kind of now he wants a piece of Greg Helms all of a sudden. So how do you like that? More on this one as Raw develops. But before then, we've got Kane here giving the Big Show a pep talk following their loss to Orton on SmackDown. So, well, I wouldn't really normally see Kane giving anyone pep talks, but you kind of get the idea anyway. It's Kane and the Big Show. They were, of course, unsuccessful when they invaded SmackDown. Randy Orton got the better of the Big Show on that occasion. So Kane is saying that Big Show needs to go out there now and kind of remind everyone what a big nasty man that he really is. So Big Show in action next against Carlito, of course, fellow member of the tag team division. Kane and Big Show still the World Tag Team Champions at this point, of course, but Big Show now ready to get some heat back in a match with Carlito. All right, well, a good heat and decent wrestling, not too bad, I suppose, but it is Big Show getting the win over Carlito when Carlito intentionally gets counted out. So Carlito takes a powder here, and we're not giving away a winner between these two just yet, because we know, of course, they'll be facing each other in a tag team match at WrestleMania, a 5-way ladder match for the undisputed tag team championships when we unify those two belts. And it appears on this occasion we got some more negative chemistry, so another one to add to the infamous collection of singles matches you probably won't be seeing anytime soon, unfortunately. Big Show and Carlito. So I don't know if there are any other negatives kind of in here as part of that, but yeah, it looks like worker chemistry is kind of the big one to blame on this one. But, you know, overall, 55 could be a lot worse. That was Big Show and Carlito. And after, in this follow-up segment, we've got Big Show and Kane standing tall while Carlito and Chris Masters retreat to higher ground. So Chris Masters probably pulled his buddy Carlito out of the ring when he saw things going south. And, the two of them just retreat up the rampway there, take the count out and think, you know what, we've got our match at WrestleMania. We don't need to be we don't need to be messing around with these two guys yet. So, Carlito taking the L via count out, and Big Show and Kane, you can imagine, will be even angrier at this development and even more desperate to get their hands on Carlito and Masters when WrestleMania draws near. So, continuing on with Raw, we have CM Punk now coming out to cut a scathing promo on Rob Van Dam before challenging him to a rematch. So remember, all the way back at the Royal Rumble, when CM Punk debuted here on the main roster, he did face Rob Van Dam in the opening match to that huge pay-per-view, and it was Rob Van Dam with the roll-up, got the win over CM Punk. But CM Punk has been a bitter man ever since that loss, and in true heel fashion has not forgiven Rob Van Dam for beating him in his big debut. So yeah, unfortunately, both men struggling off script a little bit here, but still a decent segment rating. And again, CM Punk now, he has got a little bit more momentum behind his side. He's learned a few lessons, he says, and he is ready now to face Rob Van Dam one more time. So what say you, RVD? Are you down? Are you going to face CM Punk? And as we can see here, quick note, we've got Triple H helping CM Punk during this segment, because Triple H and CM Punk, of course, as we saw, made themselves an alliance. And Triple H here at ringside, kind of with CM Punk. And that leads to Rob Van Dam calling the man out. So it's Rob Van Dam kind of pointing behind CM Punk there and calling out that manipulator Triple H, who's at ringside. And we know there's no love lost between Rob Van Dam and Triple H at all, do we? So yeah, much better here. Got a few more bonuses on our side with Hunter entering the ring and entering the angle. But it is Hunter responding by calling RVD naive. So Triple H kind of making the point here that, look, RVD, CM Punk didn't want anything to do with you, and you're just looking for someone to blame, pointing the finger at me, and you call me a manipulator and a politica. Well, RVD, just look around you. It's the wrestling business. Half of the guys in that locker room could fit that description. So don't be naive, Rob. And look, you can accept this kid's challenge or not. So a real tense situation here with Triple H, CM Punk, and Rob Van Dam finally in the same segment together at last. But we're not done, because here comes Vince McMahon, who interrupts now, kind of liking what he's seeing here, and decides he's thought of a way that he can resolve this standoff between the three men, standing here looking at them now in the ring. And his solution is to book all three men in a triple threat match at WrestleMania. CM Punk versus Rob Van Dam versus Triple H. That's right, folks. Alliances be damned. In the interests of fairness, Rob Van Dam, you owe CM Punk a rematch. And Triple H, you're being accused of being manipulator. Well, now you can be in the match as well and prove yourself on the grandest stage of them all, and show and demonstrate where your loyalties really lie. And CM Punk now has an opportunity to step into the ring with two bona fide kind of uppercarders here in Rob Van Dam and Triple H. So it's looking good for him. But again, we've got to wonder now, with three very evenly matched talents, one would think, at least in terms of in-ring ability. We'll have to see how that pans out. But who is going to be the winner when these three men face off? And yeah, how long is that alliance between CM Punk and Triple H going to last when they are asked to face each other in the ring? Interesting stuff. So yeah, good stuff from all three men. And Vince McMahon booking us yet another match for WrestleMania. And we're sure to hear the final word on this build next week on the final go-home show of Raw. All right. And we're about to go home on this episode, and we couldn't do it with much more style than this, could we? Because, yep, I think that's number 3, the third time we've got a segment rating 100, if I'm not mistaken. But there it is, folks. It doesn't get any better than this. John Cena, challenger to the WWE Championship, accuses Edge of getting Gregory Helms to do his dirty work, and Cena promises that there will be no dirty tricks next when it is John Cena and Gregory Helms facing each other in our main event slot. So John Cena versus Gregory Helms. This is it. So John Cena with a promo to end all promos here. He saw straight through Edge's plan here and what was going on, and has called Edge out for Gregory Helms attacking him. But John Cena, for his part, is more than willing to throw down with Helms here in the main event of Raw and make a point. So John Cena versus Greg Helms. Let's get to it. Oh, okay. Well, in a match that has great heat and decent wrestling, yes, it is John Cena who gets the win over Gregory Helms with a fast roll-up on this occasion. So Cena having to pull out a little trick here, and it's a good job he did, because unfortunately John Cena and Greg Helms have got a negative chemistry again. So, we're not doing too well on the chemistry tonight, folks, unfortunately. So again, that seems to have brought our segment rating down a little bit. But overall, still a decent match, so can't complain too much. But yeah, John Cena and Gregory Helms. And Greg getting himself a main event spot here. Good stuff from him. And yeah, although obviously we can't be putting him over our champion, unfortunately. But Greg Helms getting the spotlight and getting the heat. And speaking of heat, folks, here we go. It is Edge and Helms now attacking John Cena. So, yep, John Cena was right. Edge, this was his plan all along, to destabilize his white-hot challenger Cena by making an impromptu alliance with Helms. So the two men go to work on John Cena here in the ring. But of course, folks, where there is Helms, we know there is Flair. And here he comes. Ric Flair now makes a save. And Cena, after a little flurry of his own now, recovering, stands tall as Edge and Helms, of course, retreat in anger up the ramp. Their little plan here, semi-spoiled by the nature boy, Ric Flair. So, wow, look at this. Just a sea of green here. All sorts of stuff going on. You've got Francine there at ringside with Helms. Lita there with Edge. And the nature boy running interference here. So, who knows? Maybe we could see these four men in the ring again sometime soon. But, yeah, John Cena and Helms, we've probably seen the last of those two in a singles capacity for now, unfortunately. But always good to be aware of these things. And as we usually say, it's just another link in the chain, building two programs at once here in the final segment, and a pretty good one at that, as we're deep in the blue. So yeah, really, really good stuff here to finish off the show. And a final rating of 87. So even though we had a few clunky matches in there, we still got the blue rating. So wow, look at that. Is that a clean sweep for Raw in the month of March? I'm trying to think now. Did we ever get a show that was below a blue rating? It feels like they were in the high 80s every time. So wow, like you couldn't really ask for much more than that, could you? I don't know if we can put Edge's hot catchphrase down to that, or what? That down to Edge's hot catchphrase, or what? But then again, John Cena's been right there with him, so it's really those two really sending this show through the stratosphere. But then you've got Shawn Michaels and Booker doing great work. Helms, as we saw, has come into his own. CM Punk now ready to kind of step into the limelight, and of course we've got Umaga ascending, and Mickie James and Trish climbing in segment ratings every single week. So it's all going according to plan. Another episode of Raw down. As I said before, the next episode of Raw will be the go-home show to WrestleMania. Can you believe it? We're so close now. You can almost taste it. But for now, that was Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. CelJaded playing Monday, week 4 of March 2006. I do hope you enjoyed it. And the next episode on this save, when we come back, will be for SmackDown. The final episode of SmackDown in March, week 4, of course. And I will see you back here for that one. Take care until then.